how much do you think you actually sold?
Oh, in cutting boards, I would say probably 3,000 boards, probably 50, 60 large. It's rock.
What's up, everybody? We're back. Man, I just said that so aggressively loud, but
Jumping
whatever.
over
It's
here.
whatever. Really excited. Really excited today for my guest. I- you. Let me just introduce my guest. This is Chef Daniel Mangione. Did I say your last name correct?
Yeah, you're good.
Was that is there a more proper
Put an E
pronunciation?
at the end.
Mangione?
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah.
correct pronunciation?
Correct.
Boy, did I just struggle
all
saying
good.
correct pronunciation.
Oh, good.
But you are. Let me tell a story before we get too far into this episode.
Uh-oh.
You're currently the executive pastry chef at
Mhm.
the for the JW Nashville.
Yep.
You've been at a lot of JW locations, if I remember correctly, over the course of time. But you've been in Nashville for
7 years.
You've been
6 years. 6 years. Yeah.
6. Okay, so is that the longest you've stayed at a JW location?
Yeah.
Really?
We're about there. Yeah, 6 years.
Okay, so I want to tell a quick story before we get too far into this. One of the things that you oversee, your staff oversees, is you all do a lot of holiday themed events.
Yeah.
At the hotel.
We do.
And you've done. I've been to a couple of them. One of them, I was our friend Josh Hill's date to a Valentine's event, which was hilarious because Josh sends me a text. He said, "Hey, what are you doing February 6th?" I was like, "Bro, nothing. Tori's working." Or Tori, our anniversary's the 7th, so like I'm free,
Yeah.
The 7th I'm not, but the 6th I'm free. He's like, "All right, Alexa has to work because it's busy season. Can you want to go to this thing at the JW with me that Daniel's hosting?" It was like his trial run sample thing.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, for sure." Then I was talking to another friend later on, that they were like, "Oh yeah, we were invited but can't go. We're gone for blah, this and that." And I'm on my way to the hotel for this event. Okay. And it clicked. If they got invited, other people that also could have been invited. That with the caveat with this becomes people who had quit talking to me.
Yeah.
And it was the funniest part was there were 15 people there who didn't look at me, much less speak to me. And I just looked at Josh. I said, "You are one son of a bitch." But we had a great time. And then the next one, another one you did was you did a fall tea. Is that when
No, Mother's Day. Mother's Day.
What? But you most recently did one last fall.
We did a fall.
You did a fall tea.
Yep.
But you always do your Mother's Day tea.
Mother's Day.
And so you sent me a text. You said, "Hey, we've got this tea. Would love to have you all come for the trial run if you're available."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, Roman's out of school. Can we bring him?" You're like, "Absolutely, bring him."
Yeah.
And so you texted me. You either texted me before we got there or when we walked in. This was like 5 days, I think, before we had Harvey as well.
Yeah. Your wife was.
Yeah, she was very pregnant.
Yeah.
Harvey was almost like, I think, came a week after that
Yeah.
because Roman's on fall break. So, anyways, we get there and you're like, "Hey, it's busy, but if I have time, I want to take Roman and give him a tour of the kitchen."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Dude, are you sure?" He's like, "You said absolutely." And so you did not have time to do this, but you took the time to, you took us back into the recesses of the Marriott. And you're like, all right, Roman, we're gonna go see. And it was, I think for me as a dad, it was like one of the coolest things to watch, of like Roman walking through, and then as a very, very amateur baker, we talk about baking and sourdough all the time. And so you're like, we're walking through, you're like, "Hey, this is this new product that no one else has, that we're piloting at our location. We're gonna see how it turns out and give him some feedback."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, we're walking out, and you're showing me your bread oven, and we're doing all this stuff."
Yeah.
Walking out, and you look at me and you go, "Oh, they just sent me this Swedish imported pearl sugar. Here, why don't you take some and try it?"
No one needs to know you have that. No, we're good.
Unofficially. But no. But so you're just like you look at all this, like,
Yeah.
it's just so cool. You're showing me all these things,
Yeah.
all this cool stuff, and getting Rome to experience it. And so I say all that to say, like, I think you are genuinely one of the most kind and thoughtful humans. And I know you well, and so you're just like, yeah, you're gonna play it off. But
I love hosting.
that is, I think, what what is so incredible to me in the experience I've gotten to have with you and the events you do and at the hotel is it the level of attention to detail and thought is can't be described.
Yeah.
The service, the excellence of what you all do, to the point of where one of your team members, one of the servers or
Yeah.
whatever at the event, Roman, it's very like exquisite type desserts and food things like this. So it's not necessarily catered to an 8-year-old. I think you've said it the time.
True that.
So one of your servers, and then like Roman's trying stuff, loves it.
Yeah.
And one of your servers is like, Roman, can I get you ice cream? And Roman's like, I'm okay. She's like, I'm going to get you ice cream. Do you want
Yeah.
vanilla? And Roman's
Yeah.
like, sure. And comes back with a bowl of ice cream where everyone turns and goes, I want ice cream
Yeah.
too. And so it's just, that is what I think I'm always amazed by when I'm around you in that setting
Yeah. I appreciate
is
that.
how genuinely great you are at that service.
Hosting, that's what we do. But
yeah.
I'll tell you the story from my side. That first one you came to was awesome. We
Yeah.
had a good time.
Was that one of the first ones you all had
That was
done?
the first one that we
Okay.
did
Okay.
for the most part in
Mhm.
there. And then that second one I invited you to,
Mhm.
I sent the list to Josh. I said, hey, Jake's coming. We good? And Josh, yeah, we're good. All right.
There's no way. God, that's so
I want to make sure we're good. Because I don't know the ins and out of who's talking
For
to who.
sure.
I don't really care. But I had to pass the list by Josh and make sure we were
Oh my God,
we're in a good place.
that I don't.
But
think
I
you
knew
understand how
I've had an
hysterical
idea
that
we were
is.
good because obviously we had entertainment.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
you knew the entertainers,
and
so
it
we
didn't
were
bother. Like, and the
Yeah.
first time didn't. It was fresh.
we're
when
there
that all
for
happened.
Valentine's.
Yeah, so it didn't
people.
really bother
Like,
me.
come
and
on.
like I had like Colton, one of my best friends, was there.
Yeah.
So like we had a big time with
Yeah.
him. Other friends that I love
Good.
dearly were there. But it was. Let me ask you this: were you aware on any level
I
that
had no idea.
I didn't think so? Because like you're just not like you're not that type. Like
I had no idea.
it was so. One of my favorite things too about Josh Hill while we're talking about him is that your staff calls him Dr. Hill.
Dr. Hill.
I looked at him. I was like, dude, what the hell? He said, well, technically, I have a Juris Doctorate or whatever.
When we made name tags, I just changed it to Dr. Hill. So that's what people know him as. Dr.
God,
Hill.
that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay, so on top of, I do want to say this before we get into too much. On top of being an incredible baker, and I'll tell people about you, and then I'll pull your Instagram up. I'm like, look at the shit he's made before, and they're like, oh, I mean, it's wild, bro.
Yeah. I just want to get creative. Just do
What and I think
new
that's
stuff.
what's so cool about what you're doing. Like you're constantly posting stuff in your stories and like these things that you're a part of creating, and I'm like, it's wild. But on top of that, you also are an unbelievable woodworker too. In your spare time.
That's such a COVID hobby, but yeah.
I've seen the stuff you've made, and it's like coffee tables, cutting boards, like
charcuterie boards.
I remember I saw one time that this was before I knew who you were, but I didn't know you well yet. And I was like, who made that? Because it was like a checkerboard. It was insane.
I learned during COVID, like make some cutting boards, and it got wild. It almost got out of control. But I mean,
it's with every good hobby.
I'm glad I was called back to work and started working again.
Well, what was COVID like for you in the service industry because you're in service, but a different sphere of it, I think, where you're in the hotel world, but you're a patron. So what was that like for you all?
So for me, the whole story, I came here to Nashville 2020 of February and did my interview.
Okay.
I came back to start on March 3rd was my orientation date, but I arrived to Nashville March 2nd. I went to the Preds game, had a great time. I was living in the hotel at the time, and then March 3rd in the morning, tornado. So
wow, dude.
We get evacuated. We're in the ballroom. This is my first time in this hotel. I'm like, what's going on? So that morning, orientation, 8 a.m., no one shows up. I'm by myself. Like the guidance team didn't show. I mean, everyone's taking care of their house or family, whatever. I get it, but orientation's canceled. Okay, cool. So I get a call that, hey, we're doing orientation tomorrow. So I show up the next day on the 4th, go through orientation, start working the 5th and 6th, and then come the 7th, we're getting notices that we're closing down. So I worked for 3-4 days before that's it. The sad part was all my personal stuff is on a moving pod somewhere, and that's now getting delayed. So I have to leave the hotel and get out. So I found an apartment that did not have internet, could not accept wire transfers, couldn't get a deposit on a place.
Where did you rent?
Just down, but there was no internet. There was no phone because of the tornado. There was nothing.
So you're just
They didn't have a computer system. I had to give cash for my first month. Dude, this was bad. So great. I gave cash. They gave me a key. I got an apartment. I have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
In the parking lot, there was a bed.
No.
The rooms director's like, hey man, there's a bed down there. It's new. I understand your situation. Grab the bed. All right, cool. Grab the bed to get to the apartment.
Oh, so you got the bed from?
I got the bed from the hotel.
Okay. Because the way my brain was just going was you were at your apartment and there was a bed.
No.
Okay, that's better.
Because the guy in the hotel was like, hey, you gotta.
Yeah.
Shut down. You gotta go.
So they weren't allowing anyone to stay there.
No. They were told to shut it down. So I get it. That's
for
whatever.
sure. Yep.
But thank God for that guy. He's like, hey man, there's a bed downstairs. Just grab that. So I'm like, all right, cool. Grab the bed. I had to hit the Walmart, grab some sheets, and literally I don't know, my stuff showed up about 2 weeks later. I had nothing. Talk about just chilling.
Welcome to Nashville.
Yeah, that was it. I worked maybe 4 days. Maybe.
And then how long? When did you all go back to work?
Praise the Lord for the state of Tennessee. Like people want bourbon stick where I'm at. So we shut down. Like I said, was at middle March. We were back to work by middle June.
Yeah, I mean Tennessee was was kind of a dichotomy during that time.
It's because we wanted to open that point to get ready for 4th of July because 4th of July was huge. It's always been huge here. Like I've never seen such a.
It's crazy. Welcome to the South, baby.
4th of July. I love it.
It's huge.
But yeah, no, we were back middle March. But that time or middle June. But that time between March and June got crazy with cutting boards, tables.
Because you're not in an industry where it's like go work from home and stay productive.
No.
You're off work.
I was in Arizona before and I had a garage, don't get me wrong, and I had a few woodworking tools. But coming here, I'm like, well, let's, and this apartment complex actually had a bank of garages to the side. So I took a garage, set up a workshop and really took the time to build it out. Cause at that point I didn't know if I was going back to work. I had no idea.
If you are, when you are, how you, any of that.
I built tables and cutting stations. And I thought about it as a chef. Like how
really
think about the product coming in. It has to be broken down. From there, it has to be sanded. From there, it needs to be squared up. From there, it needs to be glued. Like I kind of made this production facility.
Well, and that's wild because when you say that, when we walked through your kitchen with you, it is a process.
Yeah.
It is not like it's not a kit. It's not which is such a cliche thing to say, but it is not your stereotypical kitchen where it's like everything's just thrown in there. It's like there is a legit thought process of every stage of the kitchen, of where everything flows together.
I mean, think about my bin for chocolate chips. Your son could fit inside. Like
me, you, Tori, and Roman could have all stood in your oven.
Yeah.
And have fit.
It's huge. And we're getting a double one here soon.
Yeah. Because you were getting ready to expand when we were there.
You got to think about it.
Yeah.
That way. So from COVID, from there, I just started building. And at first I built a table.
Yep.
And someone driving by bought it. All right. Then I built one cutting board. And someone walking their dog bought it.
No way.
So I thought to myself, if I'm going to do this, let's build 20.
Let's just do it.
So I built 20.
So did you sell them all?
There was a crazy. There was a lady living in the apartment complex who was the manager of West Elm over there about the Green Hills Mall. And she said, hey, we do vendor farmers markets on Sunday. Do you want to be a featured vendor? So I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll try it. I was sold out by 11 a.m. It was great. So people kept asking for more and more and more. And finally I said, well, I'm going to try a farmer's market over there in Wedgwood, Houston. And I just, for 3 weeks, I didn't sell a thing. I just built up an inventory. It took 2 truckloads of stuff to bring it there. I left with nothing. I just kept selling. And
so go ahead.
Think about with my contacts of other chefs at hotels, they were buying cutting boards and buying cutting boards and buying cutting boards. I sold.
That's unreal. I didn't realize
that
it was
garage because I needed more space.
I did not realize. I knew you did it, but I did not realize that it was that intense when you had the time.
It got yeah, it all came crashing down because I kept selling and selling and selling,
Yep.
and I got in trouble with the government from I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't think about it.
So you had no
Oh man,
LLC.
I had nothing. I had no LLC. I had nothing.
How did they find out?
When you sell to other hotels, they document that. And
And
here come
so it's
they
this
were giving me
private
statements at the
individual.
end of the year of
Yeah.
how much I purchased or how much they purchased from me.
Mhm.
I didn't know what these were for. So I asked my accountant friend, I'm like, "Hey, what is all this?" And he's like, "Oh, dude, tell me this is it." I said, "No, I have a bunch more. What do I do with these?" It's like, "Dude, you're in trouble." So we had to work all that out.
So I mean, when you say trouble, like you just had to pay the taxes on it, or did you have to pay like
I had to pay the tax plus the back. This was it happened 2 years later. It was like an audit, like a tax audit of, "Hey, what is this company that we see?" I have an Instagram. I had
yeah.
an advertisement. I didn't by any chance have a website,
Oh, sure.
but
But you
this
didn't have any of the LLC. You didn't have any, and so you're not filing sales and use tax. You're not filing. You're not any of that. Which,
we covered that. The government and I are good now, but this
dude, well,
was
that's like the chances of somebody getting audited for something
something
like that
so dumb.
is not. It's I don't. It's not necessarily high until like I'm not condoning this. I don't. I want to clarify. I'm like I'm not saying like
Yeah.
don't pay taxes, but like if you sell me a table, you sell me like there's no
Right.
like, but when you start selling to companies
Yeah.
and all of that, well, because of their audit purposes and
Yep.
their in-house
Yeah.
accountants, there's a paper trail,
Oh yeah.
and so they have to have receipts, and then they have invoices, and then they have all of these
Right.
things, which is interesting.
It came too because they were then taking these cutting boards, which they rightfully purchased, posting them, tagging me. And here comes this, "Oh, wow, where did you get that? Where'd you get that?" I was getting calls from all over. "Hey, build me a table. Can you do that?" I mean, I was delivering tables from
Dude,
West Virginia
like
to Boston. Like, "Sure,
how
no problem."
how much do you think you actually sold?
Oh, in cutting boards, I would say probably 3,000 boards, probably 50, 60 large tables.
Dude,
I mean, the UPS guy would know me
holy
by name because I would buy
smokes,
all the
dude.
handles from that, to the point where the epoxy company would call me and say, "Hey, you're buying a lot. Get on our preferred program." I'm like, "Okay."
Dude,
I mean, it was coming in
that's
20-gallon
so
buckets
yeah,
instead of these little.
yep.
It was
Dude,
I
so you sold
had
3,000 cutting boards
yeah. Oh,
in
at least
3 months?
I was going 6 days a week, just night to. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would not have wanted to see
I
that
just kept
tax
on
bill.
cranking, and I kept
Yeah.
reinvesting in tools that
Yep,
would make things faster.
yep.
And it just
Yeah, I would not have wanted to see that tax bill.
we were going crazy.
Dude, that's but, like, the fact that, like, they somehow audit you so
Somewhat
did it come from the IRS or did it come from state government?
the IRS. Yeah. I'm glad I have a very good friend
Yeah.
who's my financial advisor here who helped me
Mhm.
string this out. But yeah,
Dude.
I shouldn't. Lesson learned. I
Yeah, for
shouldn't.
sure. But that's again, like, when that's one of those situations where you start doing something that's kind of a hobby and you're like, I'm just gonna do it because I have
Right.
time. And then all of a sudden you have a business and you don't realize it. And then when you're in the middle of that, you're like, there's nothing in your brain that's going, I need to file an LLC so that I can
Right.
receive the income for this to properly pay the
And
tax, and
he explained to me that there is a clause about hobby. Sure,
mm-hmm,
you can knit a sweater and sell it on marketplace as a hobby. No
mm-hmm,
one's collecting tax on that.
mm-hmm.
But I surpassed that tax bracket with
Oh,
one table.
100%. Yeah.
So
Well, and that is kind of the caveat. It's like sports betting.
yeah,
In sports bet, like you can sports bet on an app
yeah,
and don't have to file it if your earnings I think are less than $500 or $600 something like that.
yeah,
It's or like it's not going. You're not going to get 1099 for it.
sure.
But it's the thresholds. There are thresholds, and the thresholds are really low.
Very, especially for hobbies of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, you think like a good custom made table from an individual.
Well, 10K.
Yeah, as I was going to
Easy.
say,
Yeah.
it's a
It
lot of money.
then you see these people selling bread, and I'm thinking, okay, at $5, $6, $8 a loaf, they're under that threshold, sure, unless they're just mass producing bread.
Yeah.
During COVID, some people were. I mean, it was
Mhm.
full-fledged bakeries, but
Mhm.
you're not going to get that tax bracket then. But
No.
one table,
Yeah, I mean, that's just one situation. It's like
yeah,
that is crazy. But so I did
it's
not. I
crazy.
really didn't know that it was that intense.
Yeah.
So what? eh, Let me ask you that. Let me ask you this. Did you always want to be a chef or a
Oh, yeah.
baker
Mhm.
from the time you were a kid?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What got you? Did you grow up around that, or
I
was it
did.
just okay?
I mean, no one in my family was a chef by any
Okay.
means. I grew up in a home where my parents hosted often.
Okay.
They hosted.
So you grew up around
Yeah.
the entertainment,
Their house
all of
was the
that,
holiday house. Their house was the after church on Sunday house.
which is so,
And
I
that was
love
great.
that, man.
It was really cool to see that and just see hosting, right? And their house reminds me a lot of your play. I mean, there's cabinetry where
Yeah.
it's the fine china. Then there's cabinetry where it was the everyday
Every day.
china.
I think we need to bring that back.
I did nice china collections or that's hot. Get some
Oh,
nice china.
dude. Well, you know me well enough to know that I am a very nostalgic person.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest complaints about society is how quickly we are willing to throw away tradition or to tear something down. And so, like our house,
Yeah.
I was just telling you, was built 50 years ago,
Yeah.
55 years ago, somewhere in there. And we met the family that we bought it from before we closed on the house. And one of the grandchildren of the original owners were like, "So what are you going to do? What walls are you tearing down?" And I looked at him like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "You're not going to tear this wall down and open all this up?" I said, "Why?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Well, to make the living space bigger." I said, "Bro, I got 4 living rooms in this house.
You don't need
I don't need
that.
one to be bigger."
No.
And like also, I loved the innate, or I think innate's the right word, but original character that exists in the house.
Yeah.
And so all of that say, your fine china thing maybe, but like
It's
because we have a formal dining room here
Yeah.
that I will not get rid of
Yeah.
because you know how much now I think this has come with age, but the thought of like you come over for dinner and we sit at the dining room table
Yeah.
and I've got the record player beside us, we have the record on, and we maybe open a bottle of wine or
Yeah.
bourbon or something, and you sit there and you like one of my favorite meals to do is just or like favorite things is to have people over or go to a restaurant and you sit there for 3 hours and you just enjoy
You see
company.
that? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And again, at someone's house, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I mean, anywhere you go from a formal living room and then
Mhm.
then they have the sitting room,
Mm-hmm.
cigars and bourbon in the sitting
Oh,
room, right?
yep.
From there, you can go to the terrace, to the patio. That's kind of how,
Yep.
again, I was very fortunate. My parents' home had that.
That's
They
so
had a
cool,
formal
man.
dining room, a formal living room.
Yeah.
And it led me to just that whole thing of hosting. And in high school, if you could get a job, you could leave after lunch. So I was like, sign me up. Let's
Really?
go.
That's kind of wild.
So yeah, I
But
went
kind of cool.
and got a job at the Ritz-Carlton hotel in Pasadena. So I was able to leave after lunch and start working.
So how old were you when you started that?
When I started there, I was 17. I had to get permission from my parents
Mm-hmm.
that's to be able to, and again, at 17, they let you work like
Oh,
20
I was gonna say I think it was like I mean it's been a while since I've been
okay.
a teenager, but I mean I think it was like there was a
Yeah.
cap on the hours
Yeah, you could
could
work 20
and
hours. And
oh yeah.
I was actual server attendant. You
Were you
know,
really?
I would go to the pastry kitchen and pick up the bread.
Mm-hmm.
I would cut all the bread, build the bread baskets, get the butter,
Yeah.
deliver that to the table, deliver the water, clear dishes, and help servers.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I started just in the industry. And then at that point, it was traditional. We would make the Caesar salad table side, like the dressing table side.
Dang, dude.
You
That's
would
so
cut
cool.
the squab table side. And I would watch and see how they would do that. Comes a day the guy couldn't make it, and they said, "Can you do that?" I said, "Yeah, let me go." I was making Caesar salad table side for people. I was
Were you
doing
in
all,
heaven doing
it
that?
was amazing. And
And you're a teenager at the time.
yeah, I was 17, 18 years old. And at that point,
Yeah.
it was different. We were getting tipped out in cash. I mean, my parents thought I was selling drugs.
Oh,
Like would come up
bro.
with wads of
Yep.
cash.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to buy a car. Like this was great.
Oh,
This was
yeah.
great. But there was something that caught my eye about the pastry kitchen.
That's what I was gonna ask, like,
They
because you
were
start kind of in the more
Yeah.
formal, restaurant side, and so that's what I
Right.
was gonna ask where the connection to
the
the
the the
pastry
chef of
came
that
from.
restaurant wanted to have a souffle as a special one night, but they needed a dedicated food runner to
Mhm.
take the souffle to the table as soon as it was ready. So I yeah, said, yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
So I would set up my timer versus the chef's timer. I was always plus 30 seconds
Mhm.
so I could get the sauce ready and the plate. It
Wow.
would come out of the oven. They gave it to me. I go right to the table. And I just kept saying, like, man, this is cool. Like
Yeah.
watching them do that.
Mhm.
So I asked the chef one day, I said, is there any chance in the pastry kitchen you need help? So
Mhm.
I would come in and scoop cookies.
Yeah.
And after that, they allowed me to at least scale the cookies for them.
Okay.
Then come senior year, I was able to mix the cookies for like it was a progression.
Oh, yeah.
I had
You
to
didn't you didn't walk in there and they
I had
hand
to
you
earn my
pieces
way
being
up
like,
and it was
"Yeah."
good. It was definitely good. But they were very, very nice to me to help me do that. And there came a day where I saw this was before text messages. There was
Mhm.
a poster
Mhm.
that said help needed. There was a VIP uh, luncheon for like 600 people.
Mhm.
So I said, yeah, I'd help. What do I need to do? You had to show up there by 9:30. I'm like, "Hey, 9:30, okay. I show up. I ditched school that night.
Okay.
You had to go
Awesome.
through, you had to go through security. I'm like, oh, this is weird. I wonder what's going on. Come to find out, it was a luncheon for the first President Bush. I was putting the mint on the creme brulee as it was going on. It was awesome. I had no idea. I had
So
no
cool.
idea.
And this was in California?
Yeah, yeah. Come
Yeah.
to find out, here's the picture of this luncheon on the newspaper. So the next morning, I'm like, wow, that I was there. Like this is cool.
That's
But it was
cool
something about
too.
putting on. They would give
Yeah.
everyone chef jackets to help with that thing. It was something about putting on the
Yeah.
chef jacket that I said, okay, this is
Yeah.
this is what I want to do.
We've talked about this. So that was doing that luncheon was the nail in the coffin of like,
That
this is how I know what I like.
I knew I wanted to cook, right? And then
Mhm.
I just wanted to continue to hone skills. And in high school, there's always the team dinner before the big game.
Yep.
So here's my house came to be the football team come over for dinner
Yeah.
Thursday nights. Once people saw that word, oh, here comes the soccer team. Oh, here comes the volleyball team. Like
And you're the one
I
cooking?
was the one just cooking for all these people. We had 50, 60 people in my
Dude,
backyard.
that's what would you do you remember what you would cook?
Oh, I do lasagna. I would do something quick that I
Yep.
can make a mass amount.
Massive.
And again, my parents' home was very craftsman, and
Mhm.
the ovens were not what I have now. So I
No.
had to make something that could
Yep.
fit in that oven, and we
Yep.
could just make
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
mass
didn't have
food.
a I remember when, I started baking sourdough, we were talking, you're like, "Yeah, I can bake 50 loaves at a time in my
We can.
grandma." And you go, "And I've got 2." And I'm like, "Sweet Lord Jesus." But we to go back to what you was talking about, the experience of putting the chef jacket on
Yeah,
and all of that, that is something you and I have talked about before, is the culture of, and I don't know a better way to say this than how this is gonna come out, but I think of the culture of respect that exists in the food service industry, especially high level. Like you've always worked at high
I
level,
have big time.
superior type environments, and I
Yeah,
mean that I don't mean that like derogatorily, but like you've been at a high level Ritz Carlton,
yeah,
Marriott
mhm,
properties, and the 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 treatment of others there,
yeah,
of peers, and then the respect to like when we were walking through your kitchen, some of your staff was around,
yeah.
and they stopped you to ask a question. You said something and like, "Yes, chef," and I'm like, I love that so much.
I mean, I gave every chef that I worked for that same respect
Yep,
coming up because
and it's so
they took the
unique.
time to show me, right? And I
Yeah.
want to take the time to show them and believe in them. And I feel that's kind of been my assignment the past, even coming here to Nashville, it's
Mhm.
to build up, to show others
Yeah.
and let them do it.
Wh in anytime I've talked to you about any event, anything you've done, I think the first thing you almost always say is, "Man, I've got a great team."
Oh, the team.
You never you never accept the praise of like, "Yep, you know what? You're right. I did great." Because isn't your
No,
personality,
my
but it is that sense of you saying the amount of like championing the people under you
yeah,
for them to flourish,
yeah,
because then everybody looks great when they flourish.
yeah.
And you're always the
Well,
team is great.
that team at that kitchen I have right now is the best I've
Mm.
ever had.
Really.
They're the reason for the success. I
Yeah.
I am the orchestrator and making sure they have what they need. But that takes time. I
Yep.
mean, just yesterday I planned Thanksgiving. Crazy, I know. But in order for
That's
them to
wild.
be successful,
Yeah.
I need that plan so everyone knows what they have to do.
I mean, what are we, 8 months away from Thanksgiving?
Yeah. I mean,
Dude,
yesterday
that's
we have
wild.
a very, very strong lady was preparing the Easter egg cake pop. Just just testing it. We're a month out and we're just making sure
Y'all do a big Easter brunch.
we do. Yeah. But again,
Dude.
it's building that availability for
Yeah.
them to should
Well,
be
I
smooth. But it's all about them.
that's so let me ask you this. I've also said that every time I've asked you a question. I've been learning, listening back to episodes, all of the bad habits that I have when I talk to people, and all of
I haven't
the
seen any.
oh, dude, you should listen closer because
Okay.
I say the word like a lot. I always will interrupt when people talking, so I'm trying to be better. It's my current resolution.
Yeah.
Actually, so this episode will come out in a few weeks. The episode coming out in a few days, I actually issued a formal apology in the introduction for how bad I am at certain things, and then I said, by the way, this is one of the only ones you're
I'm
ever
not
gonna
gonna say
get.
that, don't worry.
But um, with your role of being more oversight, more empowering your team, do you miss the hands-on side at all?
At my age, no.
Sure, that makes sense.
I find more um I just find more love for what they can do if you nudge an idea. Hey,
Okay.
I went to a magic store and I saw flaming paper that disappears. What if we took that and incorporated that into a flambe cheesecake? At that point, I
Tell me.
want them to run with it
Okay.
and see, okay, yeah, let's do this, let's do that. If I see roadblocks coming, oh, I don't know what to put it in. I don't know what that triggers in my mind. All right, I got that. Let me find a pot, a thing,
Okay.
a dish,
Okay.
and we bring it back together
Yeah.
and create one of the signature items we have right now, our flaming cheesecake, just from magic paper, from a magic store.
Do you see yourself in your role as, and this may be a dumb question to ask, but do you see yourself as the leader to these people? Or do you more see it as, sure, you're in a leadership position, but you are a peer trying to help them succeed as best that you can in their
I
role?
never want to be oversight. I want to be on a level with them that they know they can come to me for
Mm-hmm.
advice or situations or problems, but I want to make them successful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wake up in them. I want them to be successful.
Yeah.
In whatever, if it's helping with organization, if it's helping with inventory, whatever it may be, I want them to be successful.
Where did you learn that?
Probably working for people that didn't want that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like that's the first thought that came to my mind when you think of a uh, authority figure, whether it's a job,
Yeah.
life, whatever, or a superiority in work environment. We most often learn more
Yeah.
from what we don't want,
Right.
and we've all had
Oh,
them.
I've come up and worked under some people that they wouldn't even know what's happening for Easter. They wouldn't know what's happening for this weekend. Like
Mm-hmm.
you cannot be like that.
So, well, how do you navigate that though? Then, from the standpoint of not being hands on in it, of not so like being aware of what's coming, what's happening for your team to be prepared, while also not being the person who's micromanaging projects. Because I think that's where the aloofness can
Right.
easily come from.
I preach about it all the time is active working knowledge.
Okay.
And every Tuesday at 10 a.m. without fail, we have our meeting with the entire team. And
Really?
each person is reporting out on what they're actively working on, what
Yeah.
they need help with, how I can help them, what roadblocks they have, and if from that meeting, it's go time.
So it helps everyone stay aware while keeping you from being the micromanager of
Yeah.
every person. And then there's also, I feel like, a sense of accountability that comes from that within the team
Yeah.
itself, of everyone kind of knows what's going on with everybody.
Everyone knows what they're doing, what
Yeah.
she's doing, what he's doing, and I don't. I've been micromanaged enough, and it's
Bro, it'll send you to the loony bin. What? Like, for real. It will legitimately drive you insane.
I think when you get micromanaged, you destroy that person's creativity. You destroy what they can become. You
Dude.
create such a disconnect that you're just
Mhm.
looking at them like
Yeah.
this could have been
Yep.
amazing, but you've
When
you've crushed
especially
it.
in your role where I think sometimes in life we think of creatives as people who I think we like music,
Yeah. Yeah.
video,
Yeah.
but the reality is that in the world you're in, I think it's one of the greatest creative expressions out there.
Yeah.
And so the people that work under you are creating. I mean, you just said it's like they're testing a cake pop for 4 weeks from now, so they're creating something from
Right.
nothing.
Don't get me wrong. You do see eyes rolled at you sometimes
Oh, for
because
no, for sure.
sometimes it's not just that anyone looks at you like, "You're gonna do what?"
Yeah,
I found a metal decor tree on Wayfair, 15-inch tree with, like, twigs. So I thought, "Oh, man, what if we put our beignets on the tree and then
no
put
way.
our little dipping sauce underneath? That'd be cool." But that to me is what motivates me to
Yeah,
get the tree, try it out, see what we're
yeah,
gonna do. And what I love is when friends call me, "Hey, I'm coming in for dinner." 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get something that is still in the R&D
yeah,
stage. It
which is so
happened,
cool.
we're gonna do that this weekend. We have a very important guest coming on Saturday. But last week, 2 friends came in, beer pong dessert.
I saw them post that. I saw them post that.
They were looking at me like, "Are you out of your mind? How did you come up with that?" But,
Yeah.
honestly, I was at Walmart. I was picking up some paper
Uh-huh.
towels. Next to the paper towels was the cups, the red
Yep.
Solo cups, but then they had the mini red
The
Solo
mini
cups.
ones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I got those. You can cast those in chocolate, pull off the mold, create a nice chocolate red Solo cup.
Dude, what?
And from there, we just decided to build desserts inside the Solo cup. We wanted to top each one with some type of sticky cream so the ball would stick to it,
Yep.
right? And I found a board on Amazon. So there it is. Beer pong dessert.
Dude,
They loved it.
that is
They
well,
loved it.
what's interesting within that of like what you're saying, what we're talking about when it comes to creating, there is nothing like the freedom to create
Yeah.
and being allowed to fail in the creation process.
I
You
I've
know?
I failed.
Oh yeah.
I've come up with some desserts that are like, "No,
Y-
we're not we're not
yeah.
gonna do quince. We're not gonna do that." It
Yeah.
didn't co I've failed more times than I've succeeded, but
Mhm.
I still am motivated to keep trying.
What I've had this conversation recently with our friend Kelly,
Yeah.
and uh, where he is building a luxury
Mhm.
clothing brand, and like the concepts he's another creative in a different outlet of clothing and in that world, and the concepts he comes up with for clothes is what like he's currently selling ones that he literally paints a
With a
BF
tire?
Goodrich truck tire
Yeah.
and rolls it over and then screen prints on it. And so it's like we were talking about all that, and as the nature of that is he posts a ton of Instagram reels and he's
Yeah.
always filming, always creating something. And I told him I was like, and I said, dude, isn't there a freedom of being able to create something like that and not worried about does it like not it doesn't have to get approval because we've worked in jobs where you're told to create,
Right.
but then the creation has to be stamped
Sure.
and then edit it. And it's like with this. Like I told someone I was talking to my dad last night.
Yeah.
And I said, and we were and he listens to podcasts religiously, and so I get a call or two a week from him on some story I've told about him that isn't accurate, or story I've told about like
Can't do
most
that.
recently the episode with my friend Dr. Cody Prizer came
Yeah.
out, and I said in the episode, I said, if my parents did anything right, and my dad comes to me and goes, if he said, that's an interesting choice of words. I said, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so all that says, I told my dad, I said, because we were talking about it, and he said something along the lines of the goal you set out to do with this is that at the end of every episode, I want people to see more about who the person is
Yeah.
than about their accomplishments.
I agree.
And he's like, I think you're doing that well. And so we were talking about it some because the other thing they do is they tell me my show's not family friendly because I occasionally swear on it, and so it's now this running joke. I'm like, I'm a teenager again. My parents are monitoring my podcast, but I said the beauty of what I'm doing
Yeah.
I don't answer to anyone. And I don't mean that in a negative, like,
Right.
screw authority sense. It's more of that the way my brain works and the way I function as a human being, I do better with no parameters
Yeah.
in building my own guardrails from the creation perspective.
Which I somewhat have that. There are guardrails.
For sure. You work for a large corporation. There's for sure some guardrails out
There
there.
are, but you have to learn to be in the middle of that.
Yeah.
And not put one foot over the edge, because that's when they'll catch you.
Oh.
Beer pong dessert is not over the edge.
Yep.
It's something new.
Yep.
It's creative. It's inventive. People around those other two guests got up and were like, what are you guys doing?
Shout out the twins. They're not actually twins, but they're essentially
what are you guys doing? So it was cool, right? To just to see that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it shows the team, my team, there's always something new
Yeah.
to do. And from the front of the house team, they're like, wow, that's cool. What would it take to get that for another VIP here in 2 weeks? How could we, like, yeah, sure. And again, with that, you can put a price on it, like sky high. So
100%.
everyone wins.
Yeah.
With the creativity that we bring. Everyone wins.
That's so cool though. So my wife loves baking shows.
Yeah.
Loves baking shows, loves cooking shows. Like she and Roman watch Tournament of Champions all the time. Roman watches they've got, I think it's a Great English Bake Off Junior Edition.
Yeah.
Like they watch, like I'll be down here working and I'll go upstairs and they're sitting there watching some baking show.
Bake it up.
All of that, they watch Guys Grocery Games.
Yeah.
All the time. All of that. The reason I bring that up, something that astounds me with people like you and chefs, the ability with no instructions to create something from nothing. And that's why I say there's it's you are creative and it's an art form. Because I bake bread, and
right,
not on your level by any stretch of the imagination. Now like the bread is really
your
good.
bread's legit,
yeah.
Man.
But I can't just sit here and go, okay, well here's let's do this much starter, this much,
right.
I've gotten to the point now somewhat where I can come up with, I can change things around to maneuver what I want to do.
Cool.
But you know what I mean? Those
I hear you.
The ability of chefs to go, like you take Guys Grocery Games. You have 5 minutes to go pick out 10 items, and you have to do this, and then they go, I'm gonna make a flaming cheesecake, or that's so impressive to me.
There's different levels of creativity. I think there's that level where you do have the time to do some research. You do have the time to say, oh yeah, that plate would be good. You do have the time to really think of flavor profiles in your head. That's one thing.
Okay.
But on the spot creativity is a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
Here in Nashville, this ice storm, our hotel filled up because there were just so many people without power.
Yeah.
They needed a place to stay. We unfortunately couldn't get as many food orders delivered as we were used to, right?
Yeah.
So guess what? Game on. What do we have?
Yep.
What can we do to get creative with that? So that was a big challenge for our kitchen. We loved it. Okay, we got this and we got this and we got this. Instead of going all in and saying, great, let's do all of that, we have to be creative and say, okay, hold on. What can last for tomorrow? What can we put out if there is no power or delivery tomorrow? What do we have in 3 days? And then we just made a amazing buffet for everybody, but being creative and trying to do things in different fashions.
It was cool though. And it's just, I have such an admiration for you and for people like you in your world who the create, you're in Walmart and you see mini red Solo cups and go, what if we made a beer pong dessert? It's so cool.
It's just never stop looking around, like what?
Yeah, which I think is what makes you a great chef and creative chef in that world.
Yeah,
is the ability to find inspiration in everything.
I love doing that, but what really is rewarding to know this Valentine's thing you came to, that was 4 years ago?
3
years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's now gotten to the point where my team has been so good.
Yeah.
I'm overseeing what they're doing from the food perspective. I'm able to step into the decoration perspective.
Yeah.
And really bring that room to light with creativity. Yeah. So you got to think, how can you be creative? And we got hundreds and hundreds of battery candles and candelabras. And hanging
which is
candles.
So cool. Like, it's that ambiance and environment.
You said it, and it's like that. It all comes together at that point.
So how many? you were in Arizona before you came to
Yeah.
Nashville.
Mhm.
What all locations have you been at in the
You're gonna be on this podcast for 3 more hours.
I mean, I know it's been a lot. Okay, let's do
No, no, no.
this.
I was in Arizona before.
Okay.
It started obviously in Pasadena in
Mhm.
California, working for the Ritz-Carlton there, and then, joining Naples, Florida. That was
Okay.
part of,
The Ritz-Carlton in
yeah,
Naples? Okay.
yep, working there for many years, moving just up I-75 for a little bit to Sarasota.
Okay.
That was an amazing experience to go there, and then came to Half Moon Bay in San Francisco. Learned a lot about
Wow.
produce seasonality and the San Francisco food scene, which to
Yeah.
me is still the top. But San Francisco was
I've heard
awesome.
that's unbelievable.
So in that was 2007, 2008. This economy situation
Mhm.
went down, right? We were getting really slow, and it was getting to the point where there were almost layoffs and almost things that needed to happen. And
Okay.
being a single guy at the time, they said, "Hey, would you mind traveling and going places where we could still employ you?" I'm like, "Sure." Where
Yeah.
I figured, well, I mean, Southern
Yeah.
California,
Whatever.
maybe back to Florida.
Yeah.
They sent me to China, which was
Bro.
I had to go to the Chinese embassy in San Francisco, appear for an interview, get a visa, and
Wow.
all this. I mean, it was a really intense thing. It took about a
Yeah.
week to get that. So I got this visa to go to China, and I stayed there for a while. I was there for probably 6 months helping during Chinese New Year. And it really opened my eyes to the culture of overseas and Asia, because the pastry there is a whole nother level. The bakery there is a whole nother level. Whole
I
nother
can't
level.
imagine. I cannot
I
imagine.
mean, they have teams that are just there.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But at that point of 6 months, I'm like, okay, am I coming back to California?
Mhm.
I'm not. And it was still pretty slow from the recovery.
Yeah.
So I ended up in Bali, which was like living in a
Dude,
vacation. I
that's
had
I forgot you went to
Yeah,
Bali.
I took a job at a small hotel there,
Okay.
but that was still when these expat packages were very, very nice.
Yeah.
I had a 3-bedroom house, I had a car, I
Dude.
had a driver, I had a maid.
And this was '08?
Oh 08, oh
Yeah.
09. I had a chef. I had a
Dude.
turn down attendant every night in my house. Like I
Bro, that's
basically I
unreal.
employed this family,
Yeah.
and I mean,
To work for the hotel.
they worked for me.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was at
I
my
mean, like,
house.
yeah, so you were like you
Yeah.
employed them for you to work at the hotel.
This was amazing. This
That's
was
wild.
amazing. I had a pool, like
Oh
my
my
own pool. This was
have you ever
crazy.
contemplated going back to Bali?
There's a
You
lot of
just
good there.
sold me on
There's a lot of good there.
Yeah.
To be in a leadership role there was tough because I wasn't from the country. It
Mm.
was it was nice.
So,
Don't get me wrong, but
at all of
I
these
was like,
locations after you left Pasadena, were you the executive pastry
no,
chef
I was
or
assistant pastry
assist
chef,
okay.
whatever it
So,
was.
like,
But
is it would it be sous pastry chef?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But finally, I in Bali, that was the end of my time after about a year there.
Mhm.
I came to Washington D.C., which was awesome to work for the Ritz
Mhm.
Carlton there, and then went to Arizona.
Okay.
Arizona was good, but after I think it was a little under 6 years, I figured it's
Yeah.
time to go.
Were you at the Ritz in Arizona
Yeah,
as well? Okay, and so this is the first JW property you've been at.
for my home hotel, yes.
Okay.
They've sent me to other JW hotels to help,
Okay.
but this is my first home, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
That's so
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's, um so you talk about growing up and being in a family of hosting
Hmm.
of and how much that shaped you
Oh yeah.
um in just being around that environment
Hmm.
of entertainment and having people around and cooking for
Yeah.
them. What else do you think was one of the biggest factors of your childhood and growing up in California that has shaped you in who you are right now?
I think the hosting is one thing, and being hospitable, and
Mhm.
at the same time, I think my father instilled a lot of hard work in
Mhm.
me, and just really finishing projects and seeing projects through, and
Yeah,
always planning them out. Like he was planning out.
really.
He really built our second story of the house we lived in, and planned it out. I mean, it really helped me, and molded me into how you
Wow.
plan it out, man.
Yeah.
Some people don't have a plan. I don't know what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Right. So
So
what did he do?
he was an educator. He
Okay.
was an educator. Yeah.
Really?
in Los Angeles City School District.
Was he
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah.
And what was that? The 80s,
Early 90s.
early 90s,
Yeah.
late 80s. Okay. Are they still out there?
No,
Is
they
it
they moved to Northern California.
okay?
They sold their home and bought a beach house, so they're living a good life.
Are you the only child?
I have a sister.
You have one
Yeah,
sister. Is she older or younger?
2 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah,
What does she do?
she works in the medical field of surgical tool sterilization, and she
Oh
sets up for
wow,
surgeries and stuff.
that's cool.
I,
And is she still out west as
she
well?
works at USC.
Dang,
Yeah, she's doing all right.
dude, good for her.
Yeah,
That's wild. But so you say like, I do find that interesting though. When you talk about your dad, and I mean the fact that he was in education
yeah,
and built the second story of your house.
yeah,
But also that doesn't surprise me that he was that way. Hearing the story of you and your woodworking,
yeah. Oh, he did a
and
lot in his garage.
but like the fact of like that he is doing something not in the industry he works in and
Yeah,
goes, I'm just gonna set out to make a plan
I
and
tell
do
you,
this
man,
thing and
I looked up to him a lot with the garage. He always had his garage in.
yeah.
He knew where everything was.
But do you think
He
any of
had it
that has
set.
also shaped you as a chef?
Oh yeah, I mean, my kitchen. I know where everything's at.
Yeah,
We know what we need. We know what we don't need. Every Friday we do a clean out. I mean, we make sure we're
really.
in a good shape. Yeah.
What has been your favorite property that you've gotten the opportunity to work at? You can give me a
I'll give
top
you two. I'll
three.
give you two different answers. There's
Okay.
properties that I've been like the home, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my
yeah.
home, that's
Yep.
my pastry
Yep.
chef. There's other properties that they send me to
Okay.
just to help out
hmm
and see what's
Which
up.
I feel like you have been doing that more
Oh,
recently. I feel like in the last
maybe
couple
change.
years, like
It's
every time I turn around, you're
I
like,
love it. I love
it's
it.
you were in Dubai not long ago, weren't
Yeah.
you?
Oh yeah. I'm so blessed
Dude,
that
that's unreal.
within the domestic United States, maybe I don't know everyone, but I
hmm
could be wrong. Within the domestic United States, that my company knows if there's one person who can
hmm
go like in the next hour somewhere, they'll call me. It's
Dude,
literally happened to me driving home. I get a call, "Hey, can you come to Aruba tonight?" Sure,
sure,
no problem.
dude.
This was in Arizona. And I said, "Listen, I'm in Tucson right now, which is where I was
Yep.
living.
hmm
There is a better flight in Phoenix. Can we get that?" They said, "No problem. Tickets on the way. Go." I'm driving to Phoenix with just a backpack, a little suitcase. Boom, here comes your ticket. Yeah, no problem. I'll be there. They sent me to Aruba for 2 weeks to help make cookies. They needed training. They
Yeah,
wanted to
sure.
understand. Yeah, no problem.
Wanted to get better, and you're the
Happy to
person to
go.
go.
Happy to help out.
Okay, so I have a question, but I want to know your top two properties.
Yeah. Being the Ritz Carlton Half Moon Bay in San Francisco on the cliff, gorgeous.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite
Yeah.
domestic property I've ever worked at or had the opportunity to work at. Gorgeous.
Oh,
Gorgeous. Like gorgeous. To get there, you have to drive over a mountain and get in. I
isn't
love it.
there? Don't they have a golf course on property
They do.
there too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That, gorgeous.
that is what I think. If I'm jealous of, like, we're both golfers, have
Yeah.
gone to play golf together a few times, and I think if there's and we played in a scramble together, that was a lot of fun with Matt Bowden,
With Matt and
Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
But that scramble foursome was clutch.
Oh, we had so much fun. We actually
I love
did
it.
really well together.
And it Josh said it and it made sense.
Yep.
I would go first as the safe drive.
Yep.
And
Yep.
everyone else could just rip it as
Yep.
hard as it. But at least we knew we had a safe drive.
100, and it worked out perfect. I think that was the day that I drove a green, and we had a 10-foot eagle putt that I think
think so.
you made. I think I
We-
drove 2 or 3.
We would
greens
let
that day.
we would let Matt do
Yep.
the irons
Yep.
at mid fairway.
Yep.
I would always do the safe chip up,
100%.
and then y'all would take care of the putting.
100. What the
Or I would do the
downside-
first putt so you guys can get the read.
100. Dude,
and
we
mess
had
it up,
So
and then
much fun.
You
doing
guys
it.
finished it off.
I love scrambles.
That
Some people
was
hate them.
that was clutch, man.
I remember. So we played at Hermitage that day at the President's Reserve course, and we played. I'm trying to remember.
We played there a few times. We played Gaylord.
We played Gaylord.
Yeah.
I just wish Gaylord would quit being so bloody expensive. But
Yeah.
that's golf right now,
It's golf.
in general.
Right now?
But we played that day. We played scramble. I don't remember what hole we started on, like 4 or something.
Yeah.
And it took us about 4 holes to, like, the transfusions had to kick in.
Yeah.
And you had to get the blood flowing. Josh pulled up as we're driving to the tee box. I don't know if you remember that day, because
He was show and go.
he lit. I mean,
He was
he
show and
didn't
go.
hit a golf ball. And that man, because he had been, I think he had that morning had put tires on his wife's Porsche
Yeah.
that she had at the time,
Yeah.
and so he
He
literally like he's pulling in.
he
He
was
came in,
show and
yeah.
go.
So, but I remember, we ended up finally starting to play better.
Yeah.
I think did we? No, we did. But anyways, I remember it was the 12th hole there, no, 13th hole is a par 4,
Yeah.
and we played forward tees, which for me is an advantage because I hit the ball long ways. And in a scramble, it's really good because then you've got wedges and short irons
Right.
into every green. It's 13th hole. I don't know. I was playing like 330 or something like that. And you hit one dead center of the fairway, hit a perfect drive, if I remember correctly. Josh and Matt were in play or something. I was like, boys, I'm gonna wait and just see. I'm just gonna see.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. I mean, where's the scramble? We're not going anywhere,
No.
bro. I hit a drive and it came on the face. I was like, all right, boys, let's go to the green. What?
Yeah.
And it one bounce rolls up
To it. I
about
remember.
12 feet from the
I
fin.
remember.
And you made the eagle putt. I was like, done suck. And then 18. I love 18 on that course. It's
Yes.
funky,
Oh,
but you tee off over the water,
Yeah.
and so we tee off over the water, and a buddy of mine actually was in the group behind us, and which was funny that we had no idea we were going to be at the same thing. So I hit my drive on that hole, and I mean I just absolutely nuked it.
yeah. Oh, I remember.
I mean, and I walked back and he looks at me and he goes, "Dude, what the hell?" I'm like, I said, "Yeah, that was pretty good, huh, bud?"
Yeah.
I think I hit it 340, and
Yeah.
we had like 110 yards in, or so. It was something egregious that
Yeah.
just, man. But oh man, we could sit here and talk about golf
Oh
for
no,
hours.
that was a great foursome.
We had so much fun.
Play
And
with
just like
Matt.
all
Dude.
4 like great friends too.
Yeah.
So just it was a fun environment to be in, and
Yeah.
that term was always fun too because we never had to pay to play.
Yeah,
And we just got to show up and
I just
go.
got a
And
text. Hey,
yeah,
okay.
it was
Sure.
dude. So you said something though, and I was thinking about this, and I think this is a great question to ask, and we're gonna
Yeah.
wrap here soon. So you mentioned you are single,
Yeah.
and is there any piece of you in which has allowed you the freedom to, in an hour's notice, fly to Aruba
Yeah.
to work? Is there any piece of you that is content to stay single because of the flexibility that it affords you?
Big time.
Does that make sense?
Jake, it's
Because
dude.
I know you would also love to have a family and all of that too, but it's
I where I'm at right now, I love it. I'm
yeah.
so content in being
Yeah.
able to do all these things and go to these places, and furthermore be called upon by the corporate office to say, "Hey, we need your help with this. What do you think of that? Can you do this?" And it's like
If you're married and have kids, you don't have that.
the answer is yes.
Yeah.
It's always been yes to me to
Yeah.
help and do that. And I think your bandwidth is so much more, your capability is so much more given the season I'm in right now. I just keep
So you're very content at this season of life
Oh yeah.
to
When you
stay
text me
single.
Friday 2:00. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Cool. I'll
So
be there.
now, granted, all that being said, if the right girl walked in, would you be would I don't want to get like into your business, but
No,
it's
no,
like
no.
yeah, but I'm just curious with the world you're in,
Right.
you
They would have to be super understanding.
mhm,
I
yeah,
could be in
yeah,
Aruba tonight,
mhm,
and next week I'm in Kazakhstan. And the week
yeah,
after that, I
yeah,
might be back in Nashville, but I know on the books I have something in the Fiji Islands.
which is
You coming or
wild.
not?
Yeah, yeah,
Where
yeah,
you at?
yeah, right. And which is
And I
wild though.
think,
That's
yeah.
like that's the life that you.
Yeah. Oh,
I say wild in a good sense of like the opportunities you've been afforded because you love to bake. It's
this
so cool to me.
this craft has
Yeah.
allowed me to see the world,
Mhm.
and it's allowed me to immerse myself in other cultures and understand
Yeah.
how they operate.
You said that about when you were in China.
Yeah.
And what part of China were you in there?
First, I was in southern China in
Okay.
Sanya,
Okay.
and then I was given an opportunity to do a 2-week thing in Hong Kong.
That's right. I remember you talking about that.
Woo-wee, that
Which
was
I bet,
incredible.
unbelievable.
Oh my gosh, the food,
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
the Chinese place down the street
No.
is not.
Number one kitchen is not.
No,
Is not.
but
PF Chang's, God love him, is not.
I'm so grateful to understand their culture.
Uh-huh.
You know, a Japanese couple will arrive to my hotel,
Mhm.
and they want tea.
Mm-hmm.
But to us, tea, okay,
Yeah, use your
have a
bag.
tea bag
Yeah,
of
yeah, yep.
Lipton tea.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what they want.
Yep.
They want a tea service. They want the loose leaf. They want the
Yep.
infusion. They want some pastries to go with. Like that's what they want.
That's
And
unreal.
I'm very grateful to be in that zone to see that and
Yep.
say, no, 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 no,
Mm-hmm.
no. They're not. They don't want the Lipton tea bag.
They want.
Let me talk to them.
Which
So
I think that's partially why you and I get along so well. So I've had the opportunity, not in the food industry, but I worked for different country clubs
yeah,
at different points in time in my life, very high end ones.
yeah,
At one point in time, one of the country clubs I worked at in Nashville when we first moved here was top 25 country club in the country. So
legit.
I've been very fortunate to be around it.
Love it.
And one thing it taught me was the ability to hold conversation
Yeah,
with, I mean, I could say names of people that I got to know at this country club, and people would. I mean, you know who they
yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah.
And then also just very successful business people, and some of them I'm fortunate to still be friends with. But one of the reasons I was really really good at what I did there was because I would get to know them,
Yeah,
and then I would know what they want.
yeah,
I would know before I would see their name on the T sheet, and I would know every nook and cranny of every detail.
yeah,
When they showed up, they just rolled. And then I got to caddy for a couple of them, and it was the same thing of like I
yeah,
one my first round was with the former Greens Committee chairman and hit one of his close friends, and I caddied for them. They said we never want anybody but you. And so it's just, and I loved that. And you're the same way of like being able to go the extra mile for
yeah.
people with no expectation of return, of just to allow them the opportunity that their experience is as good as it can be.
You gotta. We have a statement: create guests for life.
Mm,
That's what we try to do. We
yeah.
create guests for life.
Yep.
You don't need to know their kids' names, right? But in the hotel industry, know who they are, know when they
Yep.
come, know what their preferences are. I
Yep.
mean, we have a massive database of preferences that few and far between, right? But we
Yep.
know this person
Yep.
is
Hmm.
cappuccino, skim milk, no foam. We know that.
Yep.
You got to know that,
Which
right?
is so unique.
And imagine them having that coffee ready before they even
And to see,
ask,
and
right?
that is what sets apart a good
Yeah.
experience from a great experience.
We had the marathon
Mm-hmm.
was coming down whatever street that was. Figured, well, we have a lot of joggers, a lot of runners. Let's set out. Let's get a water station in
Mm-hmm.
Palisade. Let's anticipate the needs.
Oh,
A lot of people don't
no, don't
anticipate.
think that way. Well, even like you talk about, which ironically, I've never actually gotten to come to Bourbon for a meal, which is hilarious. I don't know how I've never ended up at Bourbon for a meal, but I haven't. So I heard somebody talking about recently that the only downside of going to Bourbon, it was another podcast I was listening
Yeah.
to. And they were talking about the only downside is that it's not an hour in and out meal.
No.
It's you go in and
No, no, no.
it's like 6 hours, and it's like I think they said they like left at like 5 or 6 or
It
something, and they
can.
got home at like 1 a.m. or something.
You,
But it's the
but it's an
experience though,
experience.
and I'm cool with that. It's like because you get this smoked old fashioned, and you
Right.
got
But it
all this
starts
stuff.
with a private elevator, right? Like
Yeah,
start with that.
yeah.
And opens right up to the host stand. Like you really have a amazing experience there. And you have a sommelier that's going to tell you about wine.
Oh, and I love that
You
so
gotta
so much.
it's all about anticipating
It's
of the
it's a
needs.
little upsetting to me that I actually haven't been there yet. Which again, I don't know why. I think last year you were gonna get us in for our anniversary, and the only reason we didn't was because I mean I texted you the day before, and you like pulled a couple
Oh,
strings
dude,
to
I don't
get.
think it was the day before. I think it was the day of. I'm like,
My point exactly.
Jake, you're killing me,
It's,
dude.
it was like a last minute decision of like, hey,
Yeah.
let's take Roman out. But it was like the only thing you had was like 8:15, I
Yeah.
think.
No, it was too late.
And I was just like, I looked over, was like, we can risk it and
No,
go.
no,
And
no.
I'm like, Roman, which I wish I would have because I had one of the worst meals I've ever had in Nashville instead. We went to it's the the new office complex where Pinewood Social is.
Yeah.
And whatever the restaurant that's there.
I don't
I
know the
can't think
name.
of the
Yeah.
name of it, but we went there.
Okay.
Oh, it was so bad.
Yeah.
I just and what I
Yeah.
Tori had the worst salmon she's ever had. It was just sad. It's sad.
I,
I'm like,
I'll tell you the secret. Maybe this podcast gets banned for that. But
I don't give a fuck.
the best reservations to me are the Monday through Wednesday. we can really take care of you then. The
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the
Yeah,
celebratory
yeah.
anniversaries,
Yeah.
the bigger, especially. I think, dude, wasn't it like graduation weekend when you called me? I'm like, we're
It was
not.
February. It's February.
Okay, so it wasn't.
So
It
it
was.
was a Thursday. I think it was a Thursday night.
Yeah,
Probably.
Thursdays are.
And it was a super last minute thing.
Yeah, no.
So it's like,
it's all good.
but the I have it. Well, let me ask you this. I've said that so many times, but I'll ask you this, and then I have a funny story,
Yeah.
and we'll wrap up. Did you ever, when you started working for Ritz Carlton at 17 in Pasadena, California, could you have ever dreamt of what you would get to experience because of your love for baking and in culinary?
Not in a million years. I mean, I've been so blessed to see this world and
Yeah.
travel all over and meet people and even see them grow and know that I was put in their life to help them propel.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in Indonesia, we would hire what we call daily workers. There was a group of people at the entrance of the hotel. If you needed a daily worker, you would put your finger up for one and they would come. Right. It wasn't by any means. And honestly, man, I think they paid him like
did not pay
$4.
Yeah, probably not a ton.
There's this guy that showed up and said he was willing to do kitchen work. So we would bring him in twice a week. He'd help me dip some strawberries, help me get some stuff going. And, there came a point where we needed a full-time employee. So we took him, did a couple days a week, doing pretty well. Stayed in touch with him after I left. He asked if I'd give him a reference for a job in Dubai. I did that. He worked his way up there in Dubai, and come to find out, he called me 2 weeks ago that he's now the pastry chef in Puerto Rico.
No
For the
way.
brand. I mean, I'm so proud of the guy.
And he started as
a daily worker.
That's
just because he showed up that day, and I kind of went like that. Hey, come and see. But
wow,
that to me, I would have never thought that I'd be used to build up.
That's so
build
cool.
up that.
So it's that piece of like championing people is what.
That's what I wake up the last couple years saying, how are we going to make this person better?
That's so cool, man.
What is you can make the most amazing loaf of bread in a hotel industry. But what are we doing with that? How are we delivering that? How are we planning this out? How are we making sure they have the best flour? How are we making sure they have the best situation? So, yeah.
That's unreal.
That's what we do, man.
I love that so much.
That's what we do.
All right, so I'll tell. I have a quick story.
Yeah.
And you're gonna say that. So I'm trying to remember when we met. It would have been probably 2022, give or take.
Yeah.
21, 22, somewhere in there. So sometime in 2023, I started making sourdough in end of 22. So sometime in 23, I get a text from you. You're like, hey, I hear you're the sourdough guy. And I'm like, yeah, what's up, bro?
I don't remember. Okay.
And you said, can I get some starter from you? I said, sure, dog. I'll hook you up.
Yeah.
That's great. And like, I don't even know at this stage that I was making loaves to give to people. Like, somewhere along the lines, eventually I started giving loaves away to people.
I think, yeah.
I don't know that I was yet, but I was like, yeah, for sure I can. And so I told Tori, Sunday morning, he's like, hey, grab one of these containers we have.
Yeah.
And I didn't, so at the time, because I wasn't making a lot, and now I keep a stupid amount of starter at all times.
Yeah.
Which we could, oh man, I would, oh yeah.
What you got?
I do have one thing to talk about with sourdough with you before we finish. But, so I said, just put this in there. I said, I'm going to text Daniel and tell him it's in the kitchen or whatever. Yeah. He's going to grab it. And you text him, you're like, bro, it's not a lot of starter. And I'm like,
I remember.
I gave me like 15 or 20 grams of starter.
Like
I don't know.
Spoon of starter.
Yeah, dude, it was not much. It was not much at all. And so I'm like, I started, you text me. I was like, dude, sorry. Like, I just didn't have a lot. I was like, I ain't giving you more. You're like, no, it's fine. You're like, I'll make it work. I was like, okay, cool. You're like, I haven't made sourdough in a while. I'm going to get back into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. And so later on, we were talking and I said, hey man, how's the starter going? You're like, oh, it's for the hotel. You said, you said, I need 10 pounds of starter. And I said, bro, what?
Yeah, we had a big amount of bread to make.
Yeah.
But we just took yours and kept feeding
Yeah.
it and
That's what
feeding it and feeding it.
that's what you told me. You're like,
I don't know how many times I might have killed it by feeding it just too often.
yeah.
But
Oh,
we
dude, I was
when I asked for starter, I was thinking, 'cause in
yeah.
the hotel industry, when hey, can I get some
Yeah.
starter?
You're
We're
getting a
going.
case. You're literally getting like a 10
You
10
gave
pound
me
bucket of starter.
maybe 2
Dude,
tablespoons of starter.
which was that's and like part of
I mean,
this.
in all honesty, it was the equivalent of like a McDonald's sweet and sour
No,
sauce.
that's what it was, dog. It was like a little like
Like,
sauce
what?
cup. And like it's just so funny because like I
The
would
way
have
you
given
talked
you
about sourdough, I was thinking, man, this guy probably has so much
well,
discard. He
oh,
could give me
and what's funny is I probably actually did, but Tori was the one who did it, so we can
okay,
fault her for
no
it.
problem.
She's not here to defend herself. But part of this story that I find that I just laughed to myself about was I almost texted you
Uh-oh.
and said, "Bro, if you need any tips with sourdough, I'm happy to help." I almost did. And right before I started to send that, it clicked who asked me for sourdough and what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this man don't need shit advice from me for sourdough,
No, I think what
dog.
happened was we left ours out on accident overnight,
Oh yeah.
and I think it was in a weekend, and we just didn't. We came back and we're like, oh, like it was.
Yeah.
There's a point of sourdough smell that's sourdough,
Yeah.
and then there's like moonshine.
So
We we
when
we made some moonshine.
when we had Harvey, let's see, it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
I fed my starter Wednesday morning because I had a buddy who wanted some bread. I was gonna make it and
Yeah.
take up to him before we had because we weren't supposed to go in until Sunday
Okay.
to have him. So it was Wednesday, like October 15th. Feed the starter that morning. Go to Tori's appointment. They're like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital because
Coming.
you need to be
Yeah.
monitored. Okay, so we come home, get our crap together. We go to the hospital, and I'd forgotten that I fed my starter,
Yeah.
and I come home Friday. And there's my starter just sitting on the counter. I was like, son of
Yeah.
a gun.
I bailed a couple friends out because of the power outage here a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
months ago. That's the last thing you think about, right? Is your starter in the back of the fridge? Like, is it still good? Well,
Yeah.
some people's starter just died, so I was able to
No way.
hook them up with just again another Jake
Yeah,
portion.
just a little.
Here's
just
here's a sweet
little
and sour sauce.
Here's a 15-gram starter, bro. Tori does love to tell people that one of her favorite things is she's like, Jake's sourdoughs at the JW. And I'm like, it's not. She's like,
In
"No,
all
it's
honesty, I
not."
took a good portion of that from my house, for my own little my own bakery, my micro bakery for the neighborhood.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you're
So
feeding a lot of people.
did you really?
Yeah, I have it in my fridge. Yeah, yeah.
So I have not done a lot of hot takes on this show lately.
Okay. I'll
I've
take.
kind of morphed them,
Uh-oh.
but I feel like with you being here, it's the perfect opportunity for a very niche, very specific.
Okay.
I said what I said segment because we've talked about this a lot.
Say what do you want to say?
This is how we're gonna close. This is how we're gonna close. Well, before we do that, anything else you want to add?
Amazing podcast. Big fan.
Thank you. So
Some true friends have been sitting in this couch.
Thank you.
That's
so
why I
much.
was like, man, that's a cool podcast.
Yeah, and that means the world.
That's
to
a
me,
cool
for real.
podcast.
It's fun. I love doing it. I'm
Yeah.
honored. I truly, I don't think I've said this yet.
No,
Truly
no.
honored that you took time to
Oh.
come sit down and.
It was
BS
a
with me for
no-brainer.
an hour.
No-brainer. I appreciate it.
So, or I said what I said segment. I want you to give me your best sourdough hot take, because listen, we've talked about this a lot,
Yeah.
a whole lot. It's like one of the biggest things that we DM about on Instagram is sourdough reels, and then like complaining about people posting
Yeah.
stuff. So it's sourdough's gone from this like thing people do to now it's this creator, like this content
Yeah.
creator social media thing, and everyone wants to have sourdough. And it's funny because like people, I can tell when people that like I see get into it and post these loves. I'll look at her and go, their love shit. And she's like, why are you that way? And I'm like, well, first of all, mine's better. And I'm like, but also it's like you can just tell.
Right.
It's like we were talking about this before we started. It's like people post these loaves and they're like, oh, looks great, but I bet it tastes horrible.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna start with a hot take about this, and I want you to give me your best one.
Yeah.
For it. If you are a person, and this is so niche, But if you're a person who makes sourdough and you stand on this soapbox about how your starter is over 1,000 years old and it came from ancient Egyptian, shut the hell up. I
see that.
I literally saw one day and said to you, and I'm like, at what point in time?
So I got a question.
Okay, ask me.
Are you feeding your sourdough with like Jesus?
That's what I'm
is he
saying,
helping you,
bro. Like people are like,
where's the flour coming from? First of all,
it's
so you're telling me the water that you're feeding it came from the Nile River? Like, where are you?
Dude,
how?
There's again, this is such a niche discussion, and not everybody understands it. But because you sent me a text, and I don't remember because I texted you and I was so pissed.
Someone on Marketplace was advertising a thing of sourdough that was like
100-year-old starter.
Oh, at least. And I'm thinking to myself, how?
Like, I don't think people realize that there is literally none of the original starter left.
Right. But think about it. The yeast in the world has changed over time.
Yep.
Whether it's, I don't even know, global warming or farming or whatever.
100%.
The yeast strands in this world have changed.
Yeah.
Therefore, your sourdough is going to change.
But no, dude, it drives me crazy.
What type of oven are you? And show me your sourdough from 500 years ago. I'd love to see.
That's what I don't know why this bothers me so much, but it's such like people love this as a talking point of like my starter came from my great grandmother's best friend who gave this to her when she started it in 1826, and then I got some, and I'm like, shut up.
The some that came over on a boat from
it came over on the Mayflower.
Yeah.
This was my sourdough. This is what I'm gonna start telling people. My sourdough starter fed Queen Elizabeth the first.
So, if you make a sourdough, let's say you take 15 days to make it. Start the culture. Cool. Versus someone's sourdough that I don't know is 20 years old. Will there be some differences? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But nowadays you can alter this first one with some new types of flour that are on the market right now that really are going to give you a good flavor, good crumb structure, a good oven spring, like a good loaf of sourdough.
Dude,
roll with that.
I got into sourdough in 2022 because Tori was gluten-free.
Yep.
But she's not celiac, so she was able to tolerate sourdough because of the cold fermentation process. All that, the science behind it. So I was able to get, she was able to eat that. So I was like, I'm going to get into this and start making my own bread.
There you go.
So my buddy Adam Shaw, who is one of the co-founders and owners of Deep Roots Coffee in Cincinnati, my favorite coffee shop.
Nice.
But I digress. I texted him because he and I had talked before because my best friend Evan and Adam grew up together. So we've all known each other. They've known each other for decades. We've all known each other for a while. They both made sourdough, and Adam got into it in like 2012 or something, like 2013. He's been doing it and so I texted him. I was like, hey, what? Like, tell me what to do. And I made my own starter from scratch.
Yeah.
He's like, put it in a jar, leave it outside for a week, come back to it. And like he walked me through the whole process. Now I've come up with like, I know I can teach people how to do it, which is fun. But so I texted Evan and I was like, once you're ready, here's the recipe. He sent me his recipe. And that's to this day, his recipe is still the recipe that I use. And
once you make that first loaf and it's good, you're hooked.
Dude.
Right?
Yep.
I love seeing people attempt to make sourdough. They're trying. Like
100%. And I have appreciation for
I
that.
love that.
Yep, I do too.
I love that. I mean, even on Instagram, someone posted, hey, nice. They're like, really? Yeah, hey, you're
great attempt.
You're being honest and showing what you made. Trust me, there were some loaves I made.
Oh, I still have some. I mean, and you've been baking for a long time.
What happened there?
Dude, my first 3 loaves, pancakes.
Yeah.
And I dumped half my starter out, and then the next day it exploded, and I made a loaf, and it popped, and I was like, oh my God, I'm hooked.
So it's all it's about trial and error, right?
It is.
But let's be honest. I think you can get a decent starter from a friend without a story and start your sourdough.
Dude,
Stop the stories.
That's
this one came from this and that. Really?
no, it just it genuinely, sweetie, I promise. I know you think it's so cool. It doesn't matter. And
And
I guarantee you, we both make better bread than you do anyway.
and
So
they
shut up.
dry it out, they dehydrate it, they rehydrate it.
Oh, dude, I think
You're
sourdough
killing it.
creator culture is one of my least favorite creator cultures in the world, and I'll tell you why. Because the way I describe it to people when people come to me like I want to learn, I'm like I will help you learn with my limited information that I know. I'll
Yeah,
help you learn, like
yeah,
because to go back to what we were talking about earlier. There's guardrails in it, but there's not rules.
right.
Like my favorite thing that people are like, you have to take out 25 grams of starter and then you have to feed it 100 grams of water and flour for your loaf. I'm like, says who? You know what I do? I've got a massive ass mason jar up there that keeps my active starter in it,
Yeah,
and it's growing right now. You
yeah, I
saw one
saw it.
right
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and I'm gonna go upstairs and make cinnamon rolls and pizza dough. And I'm like, and you know what? My bread's better than yours,
Yeah.
and I stand on
It it
it. I'm such a,
I
I'm
I
so
saw it.
able.
It's great. But let's be real. Like just there there's a lot of information out there.
Oh,
There's a
100%.
lot of
An
information.
overload of it.
Be be where are you getting it from?
What? And that's my thing. That's what
Yeah.
it's like when people come to me and they say, hey, I want to start making sourdough. I tell them like, don't listen to creators on the internet. I promise.
Yeah.
Like, cause go ahead.
Go to these Williams Sonoma, get the sourdough kit. What exactly is in I don't know.
I don't
I don't know. You
I
got
don't
to be
yeah.
there's great websites that give you some very good even YouTube has some start to
Oh,
finish.
dude.
This is this is what we need to do. This is
Yep.
okay, cool.
And there's
Try
really
it.
good ones. Yep. There's
Try it.
really good high-end artisan
Yeah.
bakers on YouTube that have unbelievable
I tell
tutorials.
people just start with a basic French loaf, no sourdough.
Yep.
Just to get the feel
Yep.
of that. And
Mhm.
then in your head realize, okay, I'm going to take that French loaf
Mhm.
and now create that to be a sourdough.
Mhm.
Cool. Now
Yep.
and you build your confidence in it.
Oh yeah.
Then you can start
Oh.
making the sourdough turkey that I would send you at
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
dude. Yep.
the
I tried it
the
once.
wreath.
I have not tried the wreath. I've tried a bunch.
If I
But
see
like
something crazy, I send it to you.
you do
Hey, try that.
immediately. But my thing with all of, and we were talking about this earlier, like with the scoring stuff and all these things, is I'm like, I, I don't care. Like at one point in time, I cared about aesthetics and looks of bread. I'm like, now I'm just like, I just when I'm
Sure.
baking, I'm usually baking enough where I'm like,
A lot of props to the people on the farmers market that score it 50 times and it creates
oh yeah,
cool. Love that.
phenomenal. Way
Love
to
that.
go.
But how does that make a sandwich? That's my question.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what make a sandwich.
Like does the sandwich taste good?
I'll make a sandwich.
Does it taste good?
Yeah.
Like, is your bread stale when I buy it? Like, there's a lot of
Yeah.
nuance with it.
No, and again, can you make French toast? Like, how does it?
How does it
That's a
taste?
very good hot take.
Oh man,
I
feel like
call it a sour take.
a sour take because I feel like ours went together, and I honestly had forgotten about telling my sourdough story that I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about that with you.
No, we should do a episode 2 just on sourdough.
Oh, we could.
Just
You know.
Send us your questions.
Send us your questions. We could do a special episode, a bonus episode with Chef Daniel Mangione, to
do
discuss.
a podcast live with send pictures of your sourdough.
Dude, that would
how-
be my favorite. And we're
what we
gonna
can do.
judge. We're gonna judge how it tastes based on the look,
Sure.
because you can tell.
Yeah,
Oh, you can tell.
you can tell.
It's bad.
Yeah. But I tell there are some out there, man. They're very, very good.
Oh yeah.
There's some people that, hey, I try my sourdough. I mean,
Yep.
wow.
Yep.
And it's again, I'll end on this. It's one thing to do a loaf at your house. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a whole nother ballgame when you're trying to make 100 loaves at a time.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother.
The most I ever made in a week, I think, was 55 or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a grind.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made 10 to 15 in a day.
Right.
People are like, you need to grow more. I'm like, sweetie, I love you. I know.
Dude, you've got shower caps all over your kitchen.
I know.
From the
Tori hates
proofing.
it. Tori hates it. She's like, what is our kitchen?
I
right
walked
now?"
in. I'm like, what are we doing here?
You know. No, dude. It's yeah, but no, to your point is because you're like when we talked about this Saturday,
Yeah.
you're like my bread baker can do 50 loaves a time in 2 hours. I'm like, bro, you start proofing one loaf is hard.
Yeah.
Then you start proofing 50 at a time.
Yep.
And then you throw in inclusions and all of that. And you know my favorite hot take about inclusions? I'll say this and we'll finish. People are like, wait till your lamination to do your inclusions. I'm like, why? My thing is put them in at the jump and then add extra lamination if you want to. And my reasoning for that is because if you're doing a jalapeno cheddar loaf and you wait until a lamination step to put bread in or to put like
Yeah.
jalapenos and cheese in, you're gonna get a swirl in one spot with that has them in there. Especially if you're doing a small amount, you know?
I'll counter that by saying cheese and jalapenos they're soft, right?
Yes, they are.
If you're talking about nuts and grains, I'd be careful that doesn't rip the gluten development. That's why I think some of
That's interesting.
would rather put the nuts and grains on the top, like spray it with water, dip it in the top, or
Agreed.
put some in there, some in lamination, but nothing bigger than like a sunflower seed because it can rip
Oh yeah.
your dough.
Oh, you know when where I've had the biggest issue with that is when I do apple cinnamon loaves. You can, which it's different.
But with the apples,
Yeah. Sometimes. Not as
sometimes
bad.
I can see that happens too because you're adding moisture.
That's
with
the hardest
apples.
part.
Yeah.
But people love like lemon blueberry loaves.
Yeah.
Like I found there's a recipe online I use that's great. I had to change the moisture content because it's just with the lemon zest and with the blueberries, it
Blueberry
just creates so much extra moisture.
And to be careful with that, with blueberry is going to give you a nice gray loaf if you keep blending it up.
Oh, 100. It's such a dude. And that's where it's like this is, and that's why I say this is a fun conversation with you because it's that art piece. It's sourdough is not a science. There's scientific elements because of the dose, the percentages, baker's percentage, and all that stuff.
But it's what you want, right? You need a loaf for you. Or do you need a loaf for a big sandwich, a small sandwich, a roll? This new thing I'm seeing, they're baking mini individual rolls.
Unbelievable.
In mini
no way
Dutch ovens. Like, okay, that's cool. That to me is I do that because it's a good presentation.
Oh,
to the
I
table.
could see. I'm surprised you haven't done that at the restaurant.
We'll see, but at least that way it does. It's different, right?
Dude,
I like that.
Yeah, I've done mini loaves before. And it's like it's fun. It's different because like some people are like a loaf's huge. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do a mini loaf. And it's sick.
Mini loaves are cool. Baguettes are cool. Yeah. Any type of sourdough sandwich is cool too.
Oh, I've done sourdough beignets before.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it's the discharge that you use too that you're gonna get rid of. You can make pancakes. You can,
dude. You can do
put that in a waffle machine.
You can do so much with it. That's why sourdough's fun.
Yeah. You see a lot of people. Oh, sourdough waffle. Where's your sourdough? Oh, we don't have it. That's on episode 2.
I do. I can't. Man, Chef, thank you so
much.
No,
thank you. An honor. An honor. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Deepish. We'll see you next time. Well, thank you for listening to my episode with my friend, Chef Daniel Mangione. Daniel, I will make sure to not say your last name incorrectly anymore now that I know that I do pronounce the E at the end. But I had such a good time sitting down and talking with him. Such a, I think unique in the best way possible individual and brilliant at what he does. If you're ever in Nashville, make sure to go to the JW Bourbon Steak. Check out what he does for a living. His creation of fine desserts, and the guy's just such a brilliant human at what he does, and really had fun in learning his perspective on how he approaches making desserts and how it's a creation and an art to him. So, Chef, thank you again for coming on. Really enjoyed getting to sit and talk with you and also vent about sourdough. We're going to do a whole other episode someday about sourdough, and it's going to be niche and you may hate it, but we're going to love it. So again, thank you all so much for listening. It means the world to everyone who listens each week. If you're not, make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, even Amazon for you outliers who use Amazon Music. But and make sure to follow us on all social media so that you don't miss anything we post. Share with a friend, leave us a review, and we will see you back next week for our next episode.